Oh, yeah, we're making money moves today.
Cardi
Today's
B.
Money Watch, we are talking about interest rates, which are at a 23-year high. The Federal Reserve wraps up a 2-day policy meeting later today. Officials just might give us a hint on when we can expect some relief from those high interest rates. And right now, we have CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger joining us right now, and she is here to give us everything we need to know. So let's kick it right off with the Federal Reserve.
When you think of money moves, do you think of Cardi B or Jill?
I think a dollar Jill, y'all.
Thank you.
So what can we expect with the announcement today?
A whole lot of nothing. They're likely to leave rates at 5.25% to 5.5%. And the real reason is that they need more evidence. They want to see that inflation is contained. And this is an easy meeting to say, we need a little bit more data.
So this really matters for people because if you're trying to buy a house, this is going to increase what you have to pay monthly on a mortgage, right?
Well, you know what? It impacts every single person. And the reason is you're either a saver or you're a borrower. And this is why interest rates are so important in the economy. So if you're a borrower, for short-term interest rates to stay at these high levels, it means things like credit cards stay at high levels. It means auto loans. When it comes to mortgage rates, the Fed doesn't directly control mortgage rates, but when we think that mortgage rates are coming down over time, that's what will give relief to the mortgage market. We've already seen a full percentage point drop from the peak that we had in the fall. Still expensive for a 30-year, but we should see relief later this year.
Yeah, but you just said probably nothing is going to happen. So if you're sitting there trying to buy a house, you're thinking, this is still not my time?
Well, I think just the idea that there could be action later in the year. So right now, when we say, we're looking for clues, like get out your Fed decoder ring because you want to read between the lines.
Don't have one of those.
Yeah, I have one. It's great. I have it for all of us. And what we're likely to see is Jerome Powell, who's the Fed chair, is going to give a speech, and he's going to say, I think, hey, inflation has really come down. And it has. You know, the Fed has been successful in bringing down the CPI from over 9% on an annualized basis to now about 3.5%. That's the good news. The problem is we are still with high prices. And that means that the Fed is likely to say, we're probably done raising rates. We're likely to lower them later this year. Good news for borrowers. But if it's good news for borrowers, don't you want to know about my fabulous tip of the day?
What's your tip of the day? Hold up, pen and pad ready.
Yeah, okay.
What's going on?
So it's a borrower, rates are going to come down. If you're a saver, what should you do right now? Well, interest rates are still high. Maybe you should lock in a short-term CD, a certificate of deposit with your favorite bank or online back. You can get 4.5% or 5%. A great place to park your emergency reserve fund, which I know Gayle loves.
For how long? For how long?
Well, I think that if you have an emergency reserve fund, which is 6 to 12 months of your living expenses, put it in a 6-month or a 12-month CD. If you know you've got tuition checks to pay over the next couple of years, maybe you start to say, well, you know what? I'll put a little money in a 6-month when the next bill is due, 12 months, then 18 months. These rates will not be here in 3 or 6 months. They just will not.
All right, Jill.
That is a good tip.
Thanks, sister.
Yeah, that is.
I like you pretty in pink, too.
Thank you very much.
All right.